For 34 years, a rumor followed Giants Stadium everywhere. The rumor said that buried somewhere beneath the west end zone, specifically under Section 107, was the body of Jimmy Hoffa, the most powerful labor boss in American history, the man who made the Teamsters the most feared union on earth, the man who disappeared from a Detroit parking lot on July 30th, 1975, and was never seen again. The rumors said the mob had him killed in Michigan, chainsawed his body apart, stored the pieces in a freezer for 5 months. Then, when Giants Stadium was under construction in the New Jersey Meadowlands, they mixed Jimmy Hoffa's remains into the concrete. A self-described mob hitman named Donald "Tony the Greek" Francos told the story in a 1989 Playboy interview. He claimed to know the exact section. Section 107, corner of the West End Zone. The story spread like wildfire across New Jersey and New York. For decades, announcers called it the Jimmy Hoffa Memorial End Zone. Giants punter Sean Landeta joked that it gave a whole new meaning to kicking into the coffin corner. Sportscaster Marv Albert would say on live television that a team was kicking toward the Hoffa end of the field. The stadium itself, in a moment of exhausted self-awareness, posted a message on its electronic billboard outside. He's not here. When Giants Stadium was demolished in 2010, workers tore through every inch of concrete under Section 107. No body, no bones, no Jimmy Hoffa. He wasn't there. But the story of Giants Stadium is so much bigger than the rumor, and it deserves to be told. Welcome to Mystic America, where we dig up the stories America buried. Subscribe so you never miss one. Giants Stadium was built for one reason. The New York Giants wanted out of New York. The Giants had been playing at Yankee Stadium, sharing it with the Yankees, for decades. By the early 1970s, the relationship had soured. The Giants wanted their own building, their own turf, their own identity. New York City didn't want to build them a stadium. So the Giants did something bold. They crossed the river. In 1976, Giants Stadium opened in East Rutherford, New Jersey, in a swampy stretch of the Meadowlands, 30 miles from Midtown Manhattan. A concrete bowl rising out of wetlands, with the Manhattan skyline visible on the horizon. It seated 80,000 people. No naming rights deal. It was called Giants Stadium. Just Giants Stadium. Like Yankee Stadium. Like Wrigley Field. A name that meant something. The first regular season game was played on October 10th, 1976. The Giants lost to the Dallas Cowboys, 24-14. The stadium didn't care. It was open. And almost immediately, it became something nobody planned for. One of the most important sports and entertainment venues on the East Coast. What happened inside Giants Stadium over the next 34 years was extraordinary. On October 1st, 1977, just 1 year after opening, Pelé played the final game of his career inside this building. 75,646 people showed up to watch the greatest soccer player who ever lived take his last bow. The New York Cosmos of the NASL had made this swamp in New Jersey the center of the American soccer world, and on that night, it felt like the most important stadium on earth. In 1984, the New York Jets moved in as a second tenant. 2 NFL teams sharing one stadium, something almost unheard of in professional sports. The Giants resented it. The Jets embraced it. And the rivalry between the two fan bases inside the same building became one of the defining subplots of New York football for the next 26 years. Lawrence Taylor arrived, the most dominant defensive player the NFL had ever seen. He terrorized quarterbacks from that field for 13 seasons, helped the Giants win 2 Super Bowls, and turned Giants Stadium into the most feared home field advantage in the NFC. In 1994, 7 FIFA World Cup matches were played at Giants Stadium, including the Italy versus Bulgaria semifinal. For those games, the AstroTurf was covered with real Bermuda grass sod, identical to the surface used at the Rose Bowl, so every team in the tournament played on the same type of surface. The World Cup, in New Jersey, in a building named Giants Stadium. In 1995, Pope John Paul II celebrated Mass at Giants Stadium during a rainstorm. 82,948 people attended. In the pouring rain. In a football stadium. In the Meadowlands. More than 160 concerts were performed at Giants Stadium. The Rolling Stones. The Who. Bon Jovi. Billy Joel. The Grateful Dead. U2. Michael Jackson. And then there was Bruce. If Giants Stadium belonged to any single artist, it was Bruce Springsteen. Born in Freehold, New Jersey. Raised on the music of the Jersey Shore. A man who understood, in his bones, what it meant to love a place and watch it slowly disappear. From 1985 to 2009, Springsteen performed 24 shows at Giants Stadium. 24. His 1986 live album, one of the greatest live albums ever recorded, included tracks from 6 sold-out shows there in August 1985. In 2003, his Rising Tour set the all-time record, 10 consecutive sold-out nights at the same stadium. When it was announced that Giants Stadium would be demolished and replaced by a new facility next door, Springsteen did what great artists do. He wrote a song about it. Wrecking Ball debuted at the final 5 shows at Giants Stadium in September and October 2009. 80,000 people in the building every night, singing the lyrics back to him. I was raised out of steel here in the swamps of Jersey, some misty years ago. If you think it's your time, then step to the line and bring on your wrecking ball. The last concert at Giants Stadium was October 9, 2009. Springsteen and the E Street Band. The night ended with Thunder Road. 80,000 people left knowing they had just witnessed something they would never see again. 3 months later, demolition began. But before we get to the demolition, we need to finish the Hoffa story. Because the Hoffa legend wasn't just a rumor. It was a window into what Giants Stadium actually was. A building in the New Jersey Meadowlands, built in the 1970s, on land that mob-connected construction companies had controlled for years. During construction in the mid-1970s, workers kept digging up bodies in the surrounding swampland. The contractor would call the county prosecutor's office every time they found a corpse, which happened enough times that they eventually complained it was disrupting the construction schedule. The Meadowlands. Of course, when Donald Tony the Greek Francos published his Playboy account in 1989, the FBI investigated. They concluded Francos couldn't have been where he claimed to be, because he was in prison at the time of the alleged events. They called the Giants Stadium theory a dead issue. In 2004, the Discovery Channel's Mythbusters scanned Section 107 with ground-penetrating radar. Nothing. When demolition crews tore through the concrete in 2010, the FBI didn't even bother to show up to observe. Jimmy Hoffa was not in Giants Stadium. But for 34 years, through every Giants playoff run, every Jets collapse, every Springsteen concert, every World Cup match, every papal mass, the question followed the building like a ghost. What's under Section 107? Demolition began on February 4, 2010. The Giants and Jets had already moved into the brand-new MetLife Stadium, built right next door on the same Meadowlands parking lot. A $1.6 billion facility. Retractable field technology. Every luxury a modern stadium could offer. Giants Stadium. The simple, concrete, naming rights-free bowl that had served New Jersey for 34 years, came down section by section over 4 months. By June 28, 2010, the last grandstand section fell. The 13-foot bowl where the field had been, where Pelé played his final game, where Lawrence Taylor hunted quarterbacks, where 82,948 people prayed in the rain with the Pope, where 80,000 sang "Wrecking Ball" into the night, was filled in with concrete and asphalt. It is now a parking lot. Section 107. Corner of the West End Zone, Jimmy Hoffa's alleged eternal resting place, is now where people park their cars before Giants games. And Jimmy Hoffa? Still missing. Still officially an open FBI investigation. His body has never been found. The real location of his remains is still one of the great unsolved mysteries in American history. He wasn't in Giants Stadium. But wherever he is, the building that carried his legend for 34 years is gone now too. Bring on your wrecking ball. Subscribe to Mystic America and drop a comment below.